While the energy flows in this month of divine creativity and inspiration, we are still under that overarching feeling for 2023 of self-doubt or self-evaluation. And so this month can be kind of tricky. Tune in. So here we are in April 2023. And spring always brings forth this energy of growth and renewal and rebirth. And it's just this beautiful time of beginning things, beginning journeys, beginning projects, and having all this inspiration about the rest of our year. And that is such an amazing energy of like beginning and starting and birth. But here we are in this year of like being stuck in our heads and not being able to get out of the overthinking patterns. And so we're really being challenged right now to have some forgiveness for ourselves for being in this place of wanting to kind of stay inward and not share our gifts or not share our inspiration. And really, it's the best time for it. A lot of times I think of the universe as kind of in a human way. We evaluate how things happen in sort of a backwards fashion. The universe wants you to do something, but our human selves tend to be more susceptible to other energies that can hold us back. So it's like the universe is asking you to bloom and to allow, but at the same time, we are struggling with the energy of the time that is making us feel like we want to just be very thoughtful and think about our process and think things through. And we tend to overthink. We're in this time of overthinking what we're doing and using fear as an excuse for that. So I feel like one of the big themes this month is to surrender to that divine feminine side, that feminine power. It's like if you feel like you're a little frustrated because you have all these ideas coming in, but they're coming in so fast and you can't move fast enough to put them out there. This is like a time to liberate yourself from feeling attached to the outcomes of things or the expectations, using that divine feminine wisdom to help guide you in what projects or what inspirations or what creativity is important for you right now. And we're human beings, but we are creators. Okay, so it's very important for us to stay true to our creation abilities. So this surrender means that you do have to forgive yourself. Forgive yourself for feeling like you're not moving on a timeline that you want, or forgive yourself for feeling like things have moved slow or that you haven't been able to figure something out. Because this is the thing, we're supposed to get into a feeling. So what does it feel like to move on your path, your destiny? April kind of brings forward all this feeling of like, what is my destiny and how do I fit and how am I going to get this job done? So I used to follow Sylvia Browne years and years ago, and I really liked her early stuff. And she talked a lot about, her guides pushing her to get her work done here so she could go home, and home meaning the other side. And that really feels like a very strong theme. People are tired of, things not working out. They're tired of challenges, and they're even tired of change. There's been so much change. And so there's this feeling like, what do I need to do to finish up? Like, what do I need to get this done and get it out there and share with the world and share my gift? And that's really not, we're being asked to enjoy the sacredness and the process and move in the divine timing rather than push and force things. So if something is just feeling like you're hitting a wall, it's time to really allow that feeling to sink in and understand that there's maybe some more things you have to learn before you can put yourself out there or put forward what you've been working on or what you're thinking about. Really important right now, part of surrender is to understand that we are divine beings at the heart of all this, and that the human struggles, they will all still be there. And the storm will still be happening, but we have a choice. We can choose to fly above that. And so we think of a lot of times as surrender as like, I'm just going to lay down and let this thing happen to me. And that's really not the way it is. Surrender is knowing that there are some things that you are not going to be able to change. And maybe it's a timeline. Maybe it's a relationship. Maybe it's something to do with a work or your career. Maybe there's something you just know. It's not going to change the way you want it to right now. And it's about surrendering into the divine timing of things and knowing that you are a divine being. And sometimes that divine being doesn't always make sense to the human self, but there's a sacredness in accepting the path, accepting where you are. It's funny because this is where the universe kind of like mixes us up a little bit, is I feel like we're being asked to surrender to some of what's happening around us in the way that we can change our perception and we can move above it, or, kind of pull ourselves back from that situation so we're not deeply involved in it, and then makes it feel like, okay, I can kind of see the big picture here. And maybe it's just a patience thing, or maybe there is something that I didn't see before that I can try and do. So we're being asked to do that, but at the same time, it's almost like we're being asked to also know, just have a knowing that what you are trying to achieve can happen, that there's still magic in doing the impossible, that not everything appears to be possible, but it is. The impossible can be possible. It just takes somebody to try. And I recently watched a movie on Netflix called The Magician's Elephant, and it is animated, but the message is so good for us right now that the impossible is possible. And you have to remember that many times in our history, that we have looked at a problem, we've looked at things and said that'll never happen and that'll never change. And then some amazing person has a belief, has a trust, and they persist through until they find the solution, until they find the answer to that issue. So there is a scene in the movie where the main character, the young boy, is asked to fly. And at the time in history in that movie, nobody could fly. It wasn't possible. And he found a way to do it. And everyone was amazed. So here's the thing. We really need to believe in the impossible right now. If something is meant for you, it is just meant for you. We have a whole bunch of change flying at us for April. And sometimes when change happens, the original, like the sort of our initial feeling is like, possibly we might be evaluating it as negative. I'm telling you that this change may not it may not look on the surface like it's a good change, but it will be. These are good changes that are coming. These are changes that need to happen in our lives on the individual level, but also on the societal level. We're going to have a lot of major changes, and we've just got to stick this through. So on one side, we have the surrender to the things that you can't control. And on the other side, we're going to see some persistence. We're going to see some frustration too, but we're going to see persistent people pushing through to make the impossible possible. And that's where you want to stay. You want to stay in the mystery, in the curiosity. That in that place of curiosity, there's no judgment. There's no judgment. Curiosity creates possibility. It creates opportunity. It creates invention. It creates innovations. And we are very inventive people. So you're going to see a lot of advances, a lot of solutions to long held problems. And it may be too far in the future to mention, but I do feel like we are going to have major innovations around the environment because necessity and need will create that innovation. So we're asked to be resourceful and resilient and adapt but persist at the same time. So this is this backwards kind of nature of the universe that I always say I feel like the universe has a sense of humor because it's asking us to surrender to what you can't change, but also know that what is meant for you is just meant for you, and to be persistently believing and have the intent that you can make the impossible happen. In all this, we are shifting like crazy. So by shifting, I mean that things are changing within us. That's changing our energy field. It's changing how we conduct ourselves. It's changing our lives. It's changing how we talk to people, how how we move in relationships and how we want to help the world or how we're in service. And so every time we shift and we have this deep cellular healing that's going on right now, we're tired. And so we're being asked right now to stay in gratitude for these new awarenesses or these new developments and changes in our belief system, in our person, in our lives and relationships. Stay in gratitude, but also rest. Because resting is like the way, right now, it is the way to our sacredness. So resting doesn't mean that you are going to sit down and close your eyes and then persist into overthinking a problem. We're letting the overthinking go. We're flying above that and we're saying, we know there's divine timing. We know there's things that are meant for us. And I have always said this, if something is meant for you, you cannot screw this up. Okay? If something is meant for you, it is coming for you. Now, does that mean that you don't have to be persistent or that you don't stand up for yourself? Absolutely not. It just means that you have a knowing that this, whatever you're dreaming about, whatever your goals are, whether you want to buy a car, buy a house, have the career of your dreams, go back to school, write a book, it doesn't matter. Whatever your dreams are, you must keep those dreams in focus and refocus yourself every time you shift and change. There's so much gift right now in the mystery of the unknown. And it's a beautiful thing. That's why this curiosity piece is so important, because your inspiration and creativity are flowing and we need to understand that the divine connection is so important. That's why I've been asking to think about how you're protecting yourself from other people and from your experience. And if you're in my kind of work, we've been taught protect, protect, protect. You know, there's scary things in the spirit world. There's things that can help you or hurt you. And so we've been taught to continuously protect us, protect. But what you do when you protect is you create a wall, a blockage. So if you're protecting yourself from divine energy, you have to ask yourself why. There's nothing in the divine to hurt you. There is nothing in the spirit world that can hurt you. I would never be able to continue to do this work if the spirit world was a dangerous place, because I would be consistently injured and hurt. And I'm here to tell you, after 16 years, that is not happening. Drop the protection, drop the walls. The divine wants to speak to you, wants to be a part of your life, wants to support you. And however you view the divine, it doesn't matter. If you have angels, if you have guides, if you have past loved ones that you feel are around you helping you, it really doesn't matter. The spirit world is open. It's like open market. And whatever you want is there. However you view the spirit world or whatever your perception of spirituality is, it's there. It's all there for you. So we're looking at a month of a lot of sort of fate, I would say, destiny. And these elements of destiny are a little bit, in your face. It feels like they're happening very solidly. It's like right there. And again, that mixed with all the change, you're being asked to believe that there is a destiny and a fate for you and for all of us. Opening up to love and abundance is part of dropping this protection. So I'm really asking you, drop all your protection because you don't need it. The spirit world is feeding you. And when you protect yourself, think about your heart. Think about things that have happened to you where people have hurt you or broke your heart, hurt you emotionally. And then what do? You put a wall, and we block off that divine energy from reaching the heart center. And we're really wanting right now to be in our feelings, because you need to feel your way through April, through the decisions that are coming, the choices. You want to feel what's best for you and try to not, if you have doubt about something, doubt about a decision, and you're not feeling aligned with it, you must steer away. You must go with your heart and really feel your way through decisions right now. authenticity is going to become so important. Once you have awareness of self and you are authentic, you no longer have patience for people who are not genuine or not authentic. And so you'll find that, again, it's a new phase of healing. Healing is not a straight line. You don't heal from something and move on and it's done. Healing is curvy, circles, spirals. Healing is all over the place, but you heal on a deeper level every time you revisit a situation that you've had to heal from. So remember, healing is not easy, but so rewarding and so necessary right now, so that we do not hurt other people. Unhealed people hurt other people. It just creates this massive cycle of people needing to heal from others when it was not needed. It was not necessary, We all have our own learning, and it's important to know that everything happens in its time, and everything happens as it should, so you're always in the perfect place. But this is a time of really switching off the thinking brain and allowing yourself to really feel your sacredness, feel your path, feel your destiny, and move forward in a more honoring your path, rather than just doing what needs to be done or doing what you think other people need you to do. And this year is really deep in that. And if you can do this, I feel like by the end of the year, you'll be very happy with how far you've come on a personal level. Allowing yourself to build yourself back up. So back in February, I talked about how I really felt like this is a birth. This is a birth of just a new side to you. It's a birth of a part of you that you never thought was even there. And so when you're birthed into this world, it's like you have to build yourself. It's like you build the foundation for who you are, and you take those building blocks. Well, when we're actually born and raised, we can't always choose those building blocks. But right now you have a choice. You have a choice to choose the building blocks to build the foundation of who you are right now. So really think about what you want to use to build your foundation of new identity and new self. And the ones that don't serve you, just put them aside. If it doesn't serve you right now, it will be very clear what doesn't serve you in April. If you aren't paying attention, the universe is going to show you what in your life is not serving you, and you will have to deal with it anyway. So it's just to try to stay in awareness of the parts of you that you no longer want to energetically feed or emotionally feed. Okay, we just want to say that is a part of me, and I recognize that. But that part of me is no longer serving me. So I'm going to move it to the side. I know it's there. I honor its presence, but I don't invest in it. I just don't want to invest in that part of me right now, because that's not where I'm going. That may have been where I've been, but it's not where I'm going to be. It's not part of my destiny and my fate. Stay in gratitude. Remember to feel your way through this month, and allow yourself to not overthink, but to rest when needed, and to know that it's okay to surrender to the things that you can't change. And remember in your mission, like in your path and what you want to share with the world, how you are of service to the universe. Try to remember that is where we need to stay, in gratitude that we have been led down this path, and in that radical acceptance of self. You're just in love with you and in love with where you're going, and no one else really matters. Like, this year is a really funny year, because last year everything was about like worrying about family and worrying about connections and, oh my God, responsibility and relationships, and am I doing enough, and am I, and there still might be some of that hanging around, but this has really gone quite inward this year, into a place of self and letting go of the things that don't serve you. And so it's actually a really feeding year. And to make sure that you visit all the physical locations that feed you. If you like the forest, if you have a brook or a tree you like, or if you like the ocean, you like the mountains, you like climbing, whatever it is, just focus yourself back into what is sacred and honor all the parts of you. And you are an amazing, beautiful soul, completely unique from anyone else. And that radical love and acceptance is what is going to propel you in April 2023. So thank you for joining me today. Please subscribe to my channel, like this video, like it a whole bunch so a whole bunch of people can see it. Continue to support it. If you want to sign up for my newsletter, visit my website. And I also have spaces open for April. If you're interested in a reading, come see me. Love to connect with you. Blessings and have a great month.